welcome to T-Boys TV. We're back again with another Premier League predictions. Obviously, it's been a week because obviously it was FA Cup games last week. Obviously, we're back again. Premier League predictions, game week 22, plus a rescheduled game which is being played during a week. So obviously, I'll get my prediction in for that game as well. Obviously, season 2, like I said, if you don't know why I call it season 2, it's because it's the second season of me doing these. And yeah, man, let's get straight into it. So obviously the first game is obviously tomorrow, hence why we are doing it on Thursday. And I did realise just quickly as well, while my laptop decides to load, because that's why I'm late as well, because the laptop's slower than Per Mertesacker. What was I going to say? Yeah, obviously I did see earlier there's a championship game tomorrow, but I will still get my predictions out in the championship on the community post tomorrow, because I don't want to give it away tonight, because then the Hatter show tomorrow will just be pointless otherwise. So, excuse me, in that sense. So yeah, because that is the main reason people, tune in and see our thoughts as well as predictions, etc. But yeah, obviously the first game tomorrow. Watch alongs this weekend. I'm probably going to do one to Spurs on Sunday. Spurs versus City. Might potentially, it depends what time the Hatter show finishes, do one there tomorrow. I'm not too sure yet. So yeah, and then I'll just see with others. Really, to be honest with you, it also comes down to if I go to the Luton game as well on Saturday with other games. But anyway, the first game tomorrow is Chelsea versus Fulham. Now, they did play each other not too long ago. Obviously, I did do a watch along to that. Hanno was briefly on that at the start of the first half. Obviously, I did end up losing that. Can't even remember what I said for that game. I think I said 1-1. If any of you remember what I said for that game, let me know. But I'm pretty sure I said 1-1. Obviously, Hanno, earlier, big up to himself. Done a little preview. And by the way, he's got a new channel. So yeah, Blues Corner. He's still got his old one, but this is more of like a Chelsea, Chelsea sort of one. So yeah, do make sure you do subscribe to it if you haven't already. I did earlier. But yeah, he says, yo, hope everyone is good. Quick preview for Fulham game. Enzo can play, but there's no cover, Zakaria or Kante to partner him. With Mitrovic being back, it's going to be tough. I reckon it's a 1-1. So that's Hanno's prediction. And then obviously he's very buzzing about the Enzo transfer, which, yeah, I think is a decent signing, but just the money is just ridiculous nowadays in football. That's what I've got to say on it. But yeah, there you go. There's a little preview there in that sense. So it's an interesting one. With it being at Chelsea, they'll be buzzing with that Enzo Fernandez signing. Their last game at home, I did back them to win that. Obviously, that was a 1-0 against Crystal Palace, and they did end up winning that 1-0. They're taking on Fulham, who, like Hanno says there, they've got Mitrovic back, who's obviously a good player. They've got really good other players as well. They've had a decent window as well. I would say Fulham, it goes back to the start of the season as well, where they've brought in a lot of experienced players. Especially for Fulham doing what they wanted to do at the start of the season, and that was stay up. They're definitely safe now without a shadow of a doubt. Players in like Leno, Willian, there's more, but they're the sort of main ones I think of when I say that. So yeah, Chelsea versus Fulham. What do I reckon? Friday night under the lights at Stamford Bridge. I just think with it being at Chelsea, I think the buzzing news regarding Enzo, Fulham as well, they have lost their last couple of games, obviously taking out the FA Cup one. They've lost their last couple of games in the league. If they do lose this game 1-0, that would be the third game they've lost 1-0 in a row as well. Obviously, they lost to Newcastle away 1-0. I was very annoyed because I said 0-0 and Newcastle scored right at the end. Lost 1-0 to Tottenham. Obviously, me and Adam done a watch along to that. So, yeah, if they lose this one, that would be their third back-to-back 1-0 loss in the league. And I'm going with a 1-0 Chelsea. I don't think it'll be too convincing, but I can see Chelsea nicking it, to be quite honest with you. And, yeah, I've seen this thing. I don't know how true it is, but Chelsea are willing to actually let Potter get the players in he wanted to, which is obviously what he's done this transfer window, and they're giving him time. That's what you've got to do with managers, you know. So yeah, 1-0 Chelsea for me. That is my prediction. Let's go through your comments and predictions. Big up Billy says, good evening, everyone. Big up yourself, mate. Big up yourself. Big up Lewis, he says, evening. Big up yourself, mate. Big up Stephen, who's had a little bracket, added to his name. Brackets with Stepsy. Big up yourself, mate. Says, big up Ty. Big up yourself. Yes, it was, mate. It was. It was an absolute joke how long it ended up taking 15 minutes, mate, just to turn on. Seriously. Surprised the camera went all dodgy yet. But there you go. I've probably jinxed that, haven't I? Stephen's gone 2-2. Okay, interesting. Goals galore. Chelsea 2-1. That's another popular prediction I'm seeing for this one. 2-1 Chelsea. Big up Kenny says, yo, I'm 2-0 Fulham. Chelsea not to score. Interesting. Yeah, I know it's interesting. Yeah, that's all I'm saying on it. So there we go with that one. Yeah. Hopefully not, because obviously, yeah, like you say there, obviously it was against Fulham that Felix done that against, and he actually played all right, I thought, up until that, to be honest, like I said at the time. But yeah, moving on to the next game, 12:30 on Saturday. Everton have obviously appointed Sean Dyche, which I think is a good appointment, especially when they're in the battle they're in. The type of players they've got as well is what I think will help them stay up in the end, especially with Sean Dyche working with them, your players like your Connor Cody's, and the defence they've got. I think them sort of players will do up well under Sean Dyche. You did see in training, though, they were out of breath easily. Like top level football, in the top league, struggling like that is madness. Sean Dyche made them all wear shin pads, which is what people should do anyway. A lot of players don't do that nowadays, and I just don't get it whatsoever. And then they're the same sort of players that would start going, oh, he hurt me, kicked me deliberately. It's like, well, mate, man up, put some shin pads on then. I just don't understand some players. But anyway, Everton, Goodison Park, early kickoff, as much as obviously Liverpool's my second team, I have to admit, Everton can have really good atmosphere, and I expect it to be like that early kickoff. Taking on Arsenal, obviously the league leaders. It's going to be a difficult one for Arsenal, I reckon. I don't think this will be a walkover whatsoever, especially with that new manager bounce, you could say. But yeah, I still think Arsenal win it. It's one of them for me where I can't predict them not to get a win at the moment. They're just playing that good, even with all the circumstances they've had, like the Jesus injury, other things where in previous years they would have slipped, but they're just not doing that at the moment. So, yeah, for me, I can see them doing it, but it's not going to be an easy game whatsoever. I'm going to go over 2-1 Arsenal. I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal in this one. Your predictions? 1-0 Arsenal. I could see that as well, to be fair. That's Kenny's prediction. Stevens gone 1-1. Yeah, interesting. Fair enough. But yeah, like I say, the reason I'm backing Arsenal, mate, it's just hard to bet against them at the moment, mate. It's hard to bet against them, really. But I've seen a few people say 1-1, to be fair. 2-1. Billy's gone with the same as me. How many are we going to go the same with this week? That'll be interesting. I think Everton will give Arsenal a tough game. Yeah, they will. Under Sean Dyche as well. 100%. I definitely think they will. But yeah, moving on to the next game. Midlands derby. Obviously not the biggest Midlands derby. But yeah, it's an interesting one. In the sense where it's Aston Villa versus Leicester City. Aston Villa, doing well overall. I would say since Unai Emery's come in, they've had some stinkers, like obviously the FA Cup getting knocked out to obviously Stevenage, which obviously leagues below them. But overall, I think it's been all right, especially in the league. The places where they have had losses, they had heavy defeats to Liverpool, which I make of that what you will this season without Liverpool bin, but I don't think it's the end of the world in that sense. They haven't been too bad whatsoever under Unai Emery. Leicester City, they currently sit, I think it's somewhere in mid-table, isn't it? Yeah, they currently sit 14th on 18 points. So, they're still, I would say they're still in the battle, the relegation battle. You look, they're not far off it, obviously only a point. But a lot of teams in it. I would still consider them as that. As for Villa, I think they'll finish. Lowest where they are now. To be honest with you, probably. Villa at home. Yeah, I just think they'll win this one. I'm going to go 2-1 Aston Villa in this one. So, yeah, that's my prediction. Billy, you and Ty in sync. Yeah, seems like it, don't it? 2-1 says Billy as well. There you go. Again, we've done it again. 2-1. Stephen's gone as well. There we go. We've even gone the same. To be fair, 2-1 is the popular prediction for this game. A lot of people that I've seen have said 2-1. Villa 5-3, mad game, I reckon. There's always one, to be fair. There's always one, so this could be that one. Not made fun of Lewis. Stevenage need to do that. And big up away, he says, yo. And going back to that thing, quickly, Kenny, someone actually... so we have a group chat, FA Cup predictions, as obviously you know. And Lewis, the Barrow and Man City fan who's been on the channel a few times, he actually predicted 2-1 Stevenage. It was mental. And obviously it ended up being that. So fair play to him. But yeah, there is that. Moving on to the next game, South Coast, Derby, you could say. Obviously, again, not the biggest one, but it's still up there. They're taking on Bournemouth, Brighton versus Bournemouth. A lot of people, this is an easy prediction to make. Bournemouth away from home haven't won their last 5. They've lost every single one. Brighton are on form at the moment. Obviously, beat Liverpool twice. Mitomo's, he's looking brilliant. A lot of their other players looking good as well. I can only see this going one way myself. And I'm going to go the exact same scoreline as they beat Liverpool by. And that is 3-0. That is 3-0. I was potentially thinking 3-1, but I'm going to go 3-0 to Brighton. I can only see it going one way. So there you go with that one. Away says, big up lad, hope training's going well. Yeah, I'm aching from from yesterday, to be quite honest here. But yeah, no, it's going good, mate. It's going good. A lot of people that were, experiencing it, or a lot more experience than me, saying I'm pretty good. Still bits I need to learn a bit more on, but yeah, overall they're saying I'm doing all right. So I'll take that. Apparently my footwork and my movement's already good. So sometimes things don't come to you naturally, because I'll be real, I've had bits of training before, but nothing like yesterday. 2.5 hours. You know what I mean? Brighton 2-0 Bournemouth. Yeah, fair enough, says Billy. Not the same one for once. He predicted Stephen. Yeah, he did. Honestly, he did, mate. I'm not even joking. Brighton 5-0 Bournemouth, statement win. Yeah, fair enough. Brighton 3-1. Yeah, like I said, I was going to say that, but I'm going to go 3-0. Go on, lad. That's good to hear, bro. Big up yourself. Tyler going to be signing for Chelsea. No, less of that. Yeah, trust me, mate. Yeah, trust me. And I was doing a bit of sparring as well, and this guy won't mind me saying it. I don't even know if he knows that I do YouTube and stuff, but like, we was just having a little go, and yeah, he tried to get me right, and I moved like that. I saw he was coming forward, so I went bang, and you heard him go, oh, like it was mental, people. It's actually mental. Yeah, exactly, Awais. Exactly, mate. But yeah, that is that. Moving on to the next game, moving over towards London. Brentford taking on Southampton. I remember both games last season. One team smashed the other. I remember Brentford beating 3-0 at home, but Southampton beating 4-1 at Southampton. So, yeah, they both smashed each other last year. Obviously, Southampton, as we know, sit bottom of the league. They're not, I wouldn't say they're doing too bad as of recently, though. They're losing games narrowly. Nathan Jones, he has got a couple of wins under being the Saints' boss. But obviously, as we know, their main thing is to, get out of this battle and stay up. But they're taking on Brentford. This is the thing. They're taking on Brentford away from home, who have only lost one game at home this season. And obviously, that was to Arsenal, who obviously are high-flying. So it's not the end of the world in that sense. I was thinking this could potentially be just. I can't see this game being a draw. I can see one or the other winning it, but just looking at how Brentford's home form is, yeah, I can only see Brentford winning this one, to be honest. As for a score, I'm going to go 2-0, but I could see it being a 2-1. But I'm going to go 2-0 to Brentford. What day? 11th, mate. 11th. What I'm actually going to do, I'm going to do a video at some point just talking about it. I don't know what day, though. I don't know what day yet, but I'm hoping to do it this weekend at some point. So, yeah, so you lot get more information. I'll put the ticket link in the description and all of that. So, yeah, man. Brentford 3-1 Southampton. Fair enough, Kenny. Tyler's going to be a signing for Forest. They're signing everyone. Yeah. Yep. No, I am, Kenny, mate. I am. B's 2-0 Saints. Fair enough, mate. Same as me. 3-1 says Billy. There you go. There you go with that one. But yeah, moving on to the next game. Moving up to North Manchester United. That was the shittest accent I've ever done in my life. But anyway, they're taking on Crystal Palace. Again, these two sides didn't play each other too long ago. Again, I did a watch along to that as well. And obviously, Palace scored a wicked free kick to make it 1-1 in the end. Obviously, Elise doesn't celebrate goals, even when he was at Reading. He didn't even do that. But yeah, United will obviously, I don't want to say seek revenge like they lost, but they want to, get one over this time. Obviously that I did get their game right yesterday as well in the EFL Cup. I said they beat Nottingham Forest 2-0 and they did. So hopefully I'll get this one right again as well. And actually saying that, I got both games spot on in the EFL Cup this week, so I was very happy with that. FA Cup I didn't. No, I said Birmingham would win, but they lost in extra time. Which is a bit going, but it is what it is. But yeah, I can only see this going one way, especially the way United have been at Old Trafford. Yeah, it's going to sound mad. It's going to sound mad because a lot of people I've seen have gone with a tighter one, but I'm going 3-0. I'm going 3-0 Man United. I'm going 3-0 Man United. I'm being honest. So there we go with that one. Kenny's gone 1-0, which is what I'm seeing a lot of people go with. Obviously, United fan himself. Billy's gone 2-0 to United. 2-0 again, says Stephen. Prefer not to speak on Elise. And yeah, I'm not going to mention that last bit that you said there. But anyway, moving on to the next game. Moving over to the Midlands. Wolves versus Liverpool. Now, obviously, Liverpool being my second team. How am I feeling going into this one? Played Wolves in the FA Cup at Anfield. We should have lost that game. That goal that they got disallowed shouldn't have been disallowed. And then obviously we had to play a replay. We played them at Molineux, obviously beat them. Wasn't the best performances, but it's better than what we've seen. They grinded out the result. The midfield was a lot better in that game. Because Wolves don't really tend to score a lot, except obviously when they played us in the FA Cup. Other than that, they don't really score a lot this season, from my memory. Well, especially not recently anyway. I know the start of the season they didn't. I'm confident we can get some sort of result, I'll be honest. And I know we haven't been great, but it's just Wolves are not that great either, in my opinion. They've got some good players which could haunt us, but yeah, I'm not, I'm confident we can get some sort of result. Look at the table, they just sit just above the relegation zone. It's an interesting one. Obviously, we know they do have good players, like your Neves is, like your Mateus Nunes is, who we were looking at. But yeah, I think we can get some sort of result, to be honest. But what I'll do is obviously stop sharing my screen for now on that side. And what I'll do now is obviously do the lineup that I would. Oh, no, not that one. That's the wrong thing. The lineup that I would go with against Wolves away. So obviously in goal, Alisson, the number one in the league overall. Right back, I'm gonna go. Got to go Trent. Got to go Trent, really, ain't ya? I saw he was frustrated when he'd come off, but at the end of the day, he wasn't playing too great. But One of them. I've seen some people go Shimmy-Cass, but I'm going to go Robertson. I'm going to go Robertson on the left back. Now, the back two, obviously, Kanate's out. So for me, do you know what? I'm going to go Nat Phillips. I'm going to go Nat Phillips. That guy has not put a foot wrong for Liverpool, you know? And Gomez has been so hit and miss recently. Like, yeah, last couple of games he's been all right, but I still don't know. Well, I say that. Last game, he flipping started twerking, innit? What was he doing on that goal? Nah, I take that back. He has not been great. What am I talking about? So I'm going to go Phillips and Matip. That are the ones I'm going to go with at the back. Midfield, Bajcetic. Don't know if he still doesn't have a thing. Probably not. No, he doesn't. But yeah, Bajcetic there. The midfield, I've heard Thiago's out, but I don't know how true it is. Klopp's press conference is tomorrow. So I will just put Thiago in, but if he's not available, then I'll go Henderson instead. And then on the right, I'm going to go Keita. But obviously, like I said, if Thiago is not available, I'll go Keita on the left side, Henderson on the right, Bajcetic as a CDM. Don't want to see Fabinho starting. He was so lucky that he come on when he come on that he didn't get sent off. End of the day, he should have been. So yeah, that's that. I've heard Firmino's getting close. I think, and he signed a contract as well, which I don't mind. I think he's a good another option. And for me, before they got injured, him and Diaz were the best attackers for us. So I don't mind that whatsoever. Jota'd still not near, as far as I'm aware, or maybe getting a little bit closer. I don't know. They don't really tell you too much. But yeah, the front three, I'm going to go Elliot on the right. I'm going to go Gakpo on the left, who actually that was definitely his best game, last game in the Liverpool shirt. I thought he was decent, making them forward runs, causing a threat to Brighton. Remember that chance where he was going to go forward and potentially he might have scored from that, I'll be honest. He had a decent game, but put him on the left. He can play up front as well, but the left is his main position, so go with him there. Up front, a lot of people saying drop him, but I don't really want to see Núñez start, to be honest. So I'm going to go Salah. I'm going to go Salah up front. So yeah, that is my lineup. So yeah, Alisson in goal, Robertson left back, Phillips and Matip as the centre backs, Trent on the right, midfield as that CDM, Bajcetic, but he's not got a thing still somehow. Keita on the right, Thiago on the left. But like I say, if Thiago's not available, which we'll find out tomorrow, then I will go with Keita on the left side, Henderson on the right. And then up front, still how it is. So Gakpo on the left, Harvey Elliott on the right, and Salah in the middle. So yeah, saying all of that, what is my score prediction? Like I said, you can't really be too confident with Liverpool at the moment. But just with the fact that I just don't rate Wolves that heavily. Like, they've got some players that could hurt us. They do, but I don't know. I think we'll do it. I think there's this thing where the last 11 times we've played Wolves as well, we've beaten them in the league or something like that. I'm sure I saw something like that earlier. So I'm gonna go 2-1 Liverpool. I'm gonna go 2-1 Liverpool in that one. Your score predictions, most of them I expect you to say Liverpool loss probably. Let's go through them. Ty going bold on United. Yep, no, 100%. Stephen's gone 1-0 to Wolves. Fair enough. 1-0 Liverpool. That's the other popular prediction, 1-0. 1-1. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Yeah, definitely in my time. Not saying he was the best, but he was definitely up there. So yeah, there you go. Núñez is a flop so far, 100%, mate. So far, 100%. You cannot argue with that. So yeah, there is that. And then moving on to the 5:30 kickoff in the UK on Saturday, Newcastle United versus West Ham. Obviously, West Ham fans not really confident whatsoever. The Everton game, them beating them, was the game that kept Moyes in. If they were to lose that, he would have definitely went for me. Hence why everyone called it the El Sacco or whatever they called it, something like that. And then obviously Lampard did get sacked. Taking on Newcastle away from home, yeah, it's difficult to be, positive if you're a West Ham fan going into this one. I can't lie. I said he's a West Ham fan. He is not confident whatsoever. Rightly so. Newcastle have been, on smoke basically. They sit third with a much better goal difference than United as it stands. Yeah, I can only see this going one way. Saying that though, I do think I've just got a feeling it's going to be a bit tighter than what people think. So yeah, I'm going to go 1-0 Newcastle. I think they'll win, but I just think it'll be tighter than people think. So yeah, your predictions. Newcastle 0-0, West Ham have a feeling. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Okay, so I'm not the only one that thinks it'll probably be close in that sense. Back in those Geordies, 3-0 Newcastle. Fair enough, mate, Stephen. Newcastle 2-0 West Ham. That would have been the other prediction. I would have went with 2-0, but on a 1-0. And then moving on to the games on Sunday. Moving over to the Midlands again. Nottingham Forest taking on Leeds. This is an interesting one. Now, obviously, Nottingham Forest, they sit 13th, which is good for them. And obviously Leeds sit 15th, 18 points, a point off the relegation battle. This is an interesting one. This is quite a big game, I would say, in the sense where, obviously Leeds only 1 point off. Forest, I would still say, are in the battle, just not as much as, obviously Leicester, as you can see, they're on 18, Forest on 21. I'll probably say from Forest to 20th, that is the relegation battle for me between them sort of teams. How do I see this one going? At Forest, it's going to be an interesting one. Forest done some decent business, I would say, but they still don't know their best 11. That's the problem. Leeds, I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to go 1-1 in this one. I'm going to go with the first draw that I've predicted for the weekend, and I'm going to go over 1-1. Real score predictions. Kenny's gone 3-0 to Forest. Interesting. Wace has gone 2-1 Leeds. Nottingham Forest 2, Leeds 1. Fair enough. That would have been the other prediction I would have said, to be honest. So yeah, there you go. Stephen's gone 2-1 to Leeds as well. So yeah, there you go with that one. And then moving on to the last game, and then like I said, we will be doing the midweek fixture that's been rescheduled. Tottenham Hotspur versus Manchester City. Like I said, I'm hoping still watch along to this game. At Tottenham tend to do well against Man City, as we know. Obviously, they did, again, another load of teams that played recently. Again, did a watch along to that as well. Obviously, Tottenham were 2-0 up, and they done a Tottenham and bottled it. But at home, they tend to do well against Man City. Last time Man City won there, it was a 1-0. Can't remember exactly when it was. It was a few years ago, though. How do I see this one going? Tottenham obviously signed that player. I don't really know too much about him. Man City, I think because obviously United have, got 2 games coming up, they'll want to still be ahead of them and not do no stupidness. But it's going to be a difficult game. I'm going to go goals galore. This is my one where I'm going to go goals galore for the weekend. I'm going to go Tottenham 2, Man City 3. So yeah, and obviously when they did play recently, it ended up being 4-2. So I'm going to go 3-2 in this one. I think it's going to be goals galore. So yeah, that is my prediction there. Let's go through yours. Spurs 1-1, says Kenny. Interesting. I've seen a few people say that, to be fair. 3-1 City, says Awace. I see another City fan said 3-1. Tottenham 2-2, interesting. Overrated Spurs 1, Man City 3, another 3-1. Says Stephen, and then Billy, like I said, it's gone 2-2. So there we go with that one. But yeah, they are my predictions for the weekend, and just the weekend actually, and then obviously I'll go over, but I'll just run through them again. So tomorrow night, Chelsea 1, Fulham 0, Everton 1, Arsenal 2, Aston Villa 2, Leicester City 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 3, Bournemouth 0, Brentford 2, Southampton 0, Manchester United 3, Crystal Palace 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Liverpool 2, Newcastle United 1, West Ham United 0, Nottingham Forest 1, Leeds United 1, and Tottenham Hotspur 2, Manchester City 3. So there we go with that one. What we will go on to next is, like I said, the rescheduled game. It's being played on Wednesday, I think it is, as far as I'm aware. And that is Manchester United versus Leeds. Obviously, there's a massive hatred between the fans. They've had some goals galore games since Leeds have come back up. I remember, wasn't it like 6-2, 6-3, something like that a couple of seasons ago? Old Trafford. I remember one time United slapped them up away. I think they scored 4 or something like that. United at home, they'll want to put as much pressure on City. Well, I would say sort of Arsenal as well, but I just think it's Arsenal's to lose. But definitely want to put pressure on their rivals, City. That's for sure. They're at home. Another home fixture for them during the week as well. Obviously, Nottingham Forest, they just played in the League Cup. Yeah, United usually batter Leeds as well, even when they weren't doing so great. So I'm going to go 3-1. I'm going to go 3-1 Manchester United. Another 3 goals, I reckon United will score in a game and win. So yeah, that's my prediction for that game during the week. Kenny's prediction, I saw it, I don't know where it went, 6-1. Jeez. I mean, saying that, you have scored 6 against them before. And like you say, you do always have goals with them, like I said as well. So yeah, there we go with that. Newcastle won't beat us. 3-0, says Billy's Random Clips. So does Stephen. A lot of 3-0s in here. So yeah, man, there you go with that one. Now let's calculate the table and see what that would look like regarding all these results, including that game, obviously, for United. So Arsenal would sit top still, of course, 53 points. Manchester City would be second. United would jump up to third, actually, with obviously more points than Newcastle. Obviously, Newcastle game in hand over them, though. Yeah, Newcastle would be fourth. Tottenham would be fifth. Brighton would be sixth. Madness. Brentford would be seventh. Liverpool would be eighth. Chelsea would be ninth. Fulham would drop down to 10th. Should be interesting. Still, obviously, the points are tight, though. Aston Villa would be 11th. Crystal Palace 12th. Nottingham Forest 13th. Leeds 14th. Leicester 15th. West Ham 16th. Wolverhampton Wanderers still just above the relegation zone. And the bottom 3 would remain the same in obviously Bournemouth, Everton, and Southampton. So, yeah, there we go with that. That is what it would look like if the results go the way I think they will. So, yeah, man. Let's go through the last bit of comments. And just going on about when Newcastle played Man United. When is that? Is that anytime soon, is it then? Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one. Let me know. When that game is between them lot. So yeah, people, that is where we're going to get ready to wrap it up. Obviously, these streams don't really tend to be long. And going forward, I think I'm just going to do predictions instead of what's the thing? The reviews and all that. I think I'm just going to do previews going forward. It's just a lot easier with the schedule. Sometimes it's a madness. I wasted 26th of Feb, Tyler, something like that. Okay, fair enough. So it's not actually too long away, to be fair. So yeah, that is that. But yeah, that is where I'm going to wrap it up. Tomorrow, like I said, I'll be back again with the Hatter Show, obviously with my dad, obviously talking about the midweek fixture. Get in there, Luton. And it's an absolute madness because we could go up to third on the weekend, but there's many times we could have done that before and we don't. So interesting. See what goes on there. And potentially a Chelsea Fulham watch along. It depends what time the Hatters show finishes and all of that. But yeah, like I said, I'm hoping to the Tottenham versus Man City one. I think that one will definitely be able to run. So yeah, that is that. But yeah, big up everyone that tuned in. You know, Awace, Billy, Kenny, Stephen, all of you. You know, I know a lot of people watch this back on playback as well. Big up Hanno for doing that preview thing before we went live. And yeah, like I said, make sure you subscribe to his Chelsea channel that he has now. Obviously, it's literally there. So yeah, man, search that up. It will come up. And yeah, man, big up everyone that's tuned in. I know a lot of people watch this on playback as well. So big up to you lot as well. Make sure you smash that like button if you haven't already. We're currently on 9 likes. Let's try and get that up and smash that like button if you haven't already. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already as well. Turn on notification bell so you never miss an upload or a scheduled stream. Yeah, that would be much appreciated. And yeah, if you do want to follow me across any of my socials, obviously link to them are in the description, as you lot know. And yeah, make sure you subscribe to my other channel as well, T-Boys TV Extra. Link to that is also in the description. I see we gained another subscriber on that the other day, so big up to yourself for that one. Much appreciated. But Way says, big up T and the chat, love. Big up yourself, mate. Big up yourself. Stephen says, come on, you as. Yep, we'll be back again, like I said, discussing Luton tomorrow. And yeah, man, that is where I'm going to wrap it up. So yeah, see you later, Billy. I'll see you later. Big up yourself, mate. Big up everyone inside. And yeah, I will see you lot in a bit. So take care and peace.